Townsville's toilet tax. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian Heiser here and welcome to another episode of Heiser Says. I've my stein of coffee and I just had to look at this article because, well, frankly, it shows you the government will tax every single thing they can. And Townsville moteliers struggle with pedestal charges amid the pandemic vacancies. A toilet tax. Now I know you need to get plumbing approval when you add new toilets to a building or renovation, depending on the type of project, because that theoretically will increase the load on the sewage system. So there needs to be an allowance for that extra infrastructure load. And I agree with that. I don't mind that. But an ongoing toilet tax? I mean, how often do they go to the toilet in Townsville, guys? I know we've got some cans viewers. Let me know up in Townsville, everyone. You know what? It's probably just the Laverack Barracks. It's just the guys up there at the army base. They're the causing all the problems. I like Townsville. It's a great city, actually. So let's have a look. Moteliers say a toilet tax is crippling their businesses more than ever as occupancy rates plummet during the pandemic. Here's one thing. Have councils responded to help because they're the part of government, the part of the state that most of us interact with in a day-to-day basis. And have they actually made it easier for businesses to get ahead, for developments or constructions to move ahead now? Because in many ways, I think they're an impediment to a lot of this economic stimulus. And if they ease up a little bit, maybe just here in Queensland, if they just reduce their corruption a little bit, and that's not actually a sad joke, to be honest. Just look at what's happened in some of our councils around here. Maybe that could have a greater impact than people realize. The cost to have a toilet in Townsville's non-residential buildings is higher than in many others in Queensland. Townsville businesses are charged $945 per pedestal annually. That is compared to $234 in the town of Esk. Nearly $1,000 a year for every toilet you have in your business. And the number of toilets, that's set in the National Construction Code. I've got it behind me here. $1,000 a year. It's a load of crap. Townsville motelier Chris Cooper said, "Yes, Chris, I agree with you. Bloody well is. $1,000 a year." It's also higher than in nearby cities, with Cairns priced at about $681 and Mackay $898. I don't think Mackay's looking that good either, or Cairns. So there's an incentive to just dig a hole and put a bucket at the back. Bloody hell, $1,000 a year. $1,000 a year. Mr. Cooper pays about $23,600 annually for his 25 customer toilets. But if they were placed in Cairns, it would be $6,600 better off. 23 grand a year just to have toilets. I was told that probably the best option for me would be to remove the toilets, which is not a practical outcome. That is what they're saying he should do, to remove the toilet. This is the stupidity of government. This is the stupidity of government. Utterly insane. Destroy something to avoid a penalty we put on it. A tax that we force you to have. Wow. We have employees, and we won't have them very much longer if this continues. I mean, this just shows you, everyone. And the costs have 23 grand for toilets. Costs have major impacts. Pedestal charges are fixed rather than user pays and contribute to constructing, operating, maintaining, and managing the sewer system. The cost in Townsville has been an issue among businesses for at least 30 years. With all this infrastructure, we need to get this cheaper in our tourist industries up north. In a 92 document from the Queensland Motel and Accommodation Association said the cost burden had a major impact on the viability and growth of the Townsville motel and tourism industries, limiting employment opportunities. Well, yeah, that 23 grand a year, that's a part-time job for another person. But a plummet in bookings during the pandemic made the tax sting further for Mr. Cooper's motel. "We're lucky to have 1 or 2 rooms a night booked," he said. So he may not even be covering his toilet costs. The fact that the restrictions have been lifted is good, but there are no events in Townsville happening, so there's nothing to bring people here. Townsville property valuer and advisor Jennifer Lee Sinclair said the charges had a huge impact on small motels, churches, and sporting groups. We have clients significantly considering literally removing 5 or 6 toilets that they don't need just to save money. How stupid is this? Townsville Council should just step in right now and say we are giving everyone a 2-year grace while this happens from this costs. Right there. Simple. Rather than all these government handouts, they should just stop charging people to have bloody toilets. It's a health and safety issue. If they remove these toilets, then there'll be more people using them once things come back online, and that'll cause issues. Or what if, people start crapping in the bloody streets? Are we going to end up like San Francisco because of our toilet tax? It's an issue we've raised with council over the last 10 years, and council don't care. They're the little fiefdoms there. They want to make their money. Delaying charges are nonsense. In March, Townsville City Council released a pandemic support package that included the deferral of businesses' rates and pedestal charges until June 30. But most customers received their rates notice in February, so many would not have automatically received the deferral. It's nonsense, Mr. Cooper said. They don't need to defer it, they need to waive it. Maybe they need to get more efficient in managing the sewerage system. Whether you pay it now or pay it later, you've still got to pay it. And this is a way to enforce debt upon people that don't need it right now. Mr. Cooper said he and others in the industry would not be able... Well, you know what he should do? He should just... See, here's the thing. You don't even have the option to not plumb into the sewage system. You can't say, sorry, I'm going to put a septic in here and I'll hire a private company to manage it. It'll be cheaper than $23,000 a year. Particularly now if there's less usage. Because they'll say, no, sorry, you won't get building approval. You need to be plumbed in. So they got you. They got you for that toilet tax, everyone. This is upsetting me more than it probably should. Mr. Cooper said he and others in the industry would not be able to afford the next installment, but that having a user pay system would allow him to employ another staff member. What he needs to do is he needs to put a coin operated every time, like in Germany, every time you have to take a crap, you got to put a coin in. The Townsville City Council spokesperson said the revenue provided wastewater services to more than 72,000 residential and commercial customers using 6 treatment plants, 200 pumps, stations, and 1,500 kilometres of sewer mains. Unlike most other councils in Queensland, Townsville's wastewater is held to a higher standard because of our proximity to the Great Barrier Reef, the spokesperson said. Council sets sewerage utility charges for residential and commercial customers in accordance with full cost recovery principles outlined in the local government regulation. After any ratepayer that has experienced difficulties in paying the rates and charges has the ability to negotiate a payment plan. Mr. Cooper said the charge was unfair, given it would only cost a total of $806 to have as many toilets as they like in a residential household. People are predominantly at home now, using the toilets a heck of a lot more than we are, he said. Council said, yeah, but they're a bigger voter base, mate. That's the problem. They're a bigger voter base. It's all about winning votes. Council said it was finalising its budget for the new financial year and will publish details in coming weeks. Goondiwindi Regional Council has announced it will waive the charge for accommodation businesses so they can save $210 per pedestal in the 2020-2021 financial year. Well, good on them. Good on them. What do you think, everyone? What do you think about this one? I mean, look at that. Imagine how much they'd be paying on their toilet tax. Crazy. How much would it cost to hire portaloos for that time? I'm sure people would love that. I'm sure that'd be good for the tourism industry. As always, please let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. Simply commenting, sharing, and liking helps the channel grow, helps spread and beat the difficulties in the YouTube algorithm. You can support us via joining the channel on YouTube or Patreon, or using our affiliate links at Amazon or eBay or Independent Reserve and KuCoin. You can buy a merch from Heiser Says, pocket squares you can see behind me right there. You can also use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint or support us via PayPal. Take care, everyone. I'll see you in the next video.